Hey, how you doing? And welcome to the latest episode of Unstoppable. I'm your host, Kerwin Ray, and today we are talking with Jenna Louise Douros. This chick is fit as fuck. You might even recognize her from her stint on Australian Ninja Warrior. But you want to keep listening here as we uncover her journey from bulimia to peak performance, where this chick is now showing people how to live their life at the highest levels of performance. This was an incredible interview. This chick is unstoppable through and through. I have to say this, by the way, because Jenna Douros, who's in here right now, her guns are bigger than mine. And I'm kind of fucking a little bit intimidated, so I've got to make this sound amazing. And she is an incredible woman. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Unstoppable. Jenna, great to have you here.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Oh, it's great to have you here. Mm-hmm. I didn't realise I needed a bodyguard until now.
I can be your bodyguard.
Well, that's what I was like, Tim, you're out of a job. I've now got she looks a lot better than you as well. And she comes with this like fully sick, tattered bikie. So
yep. So he's my backup bodyguard.
He's your backup.
So, yeah.
Like, I'm safe. Yeah. I feel very safe right now. So you've got quite an extensive career, master trainer from the Australian Fitness Institute. You've written a shit ton of ebooks. You have a community that is dedicated to a whole bunch of unstoppable women. Mm-hmm. But for those of you, you've actually been on, you've featured as the cover on Oxygen magazine.
Oxygen magazine and Women Health and Fitness as well. So,
is there anything I've left out?
Probably. I've got such a quite diverse career, really. So I don't really specialize in one area. I struggle to sit still.
Okay.
So for me,
I like to ADHD.
Yes, totally. I like to tap into
so
every
when people
area.
say, what do you do? Because you're obviously a trainer, you obviously work with women. Is your thing really predominantly around the fitness space?
Yes. So when I get asked that question, I find it actually very difficult to answer, to be honest, because like I said, I don't specialize just in one area. I like to say that I work in the health and fitness industry full time. Yeah. So generally that's my answer. Okay. But if you want to delve way deeper into that, you'll find that I do all sorts of stuff. So
such as?
So firstly, I do online coaching. Yep. So that's majority of my time is spent online coaching women. Right. And that's purely because I can't go face to face with everybody as much as I would like to.
Leverage.
So online is definitely what I do most of. However, the face-to-face time I find so important, and it's something that I need to do for myself because I just absolutely love that connection with people. I love surrounding myself in group environments and leading the way and sharing my knowledge and just bringing that overall energy, because it's like that's just my character. That's who I am. I'm a very excitable character.
Are you a competitor as well? Like I noticed you've been on Ninja Warrior as an athlete.
Yes.
Do you compete in anything else?
From
like the world's strongest woman?
Oh gosh, I want to compete in everything. That's my problem. Yeah. But as long as I can remember, I've competed with myself, really.
Okay, right.
So I'm very competitive, but I would have to say my biggest competition is me. Yeah. And generally that transfers into my daily workouts. So I'm competitive as all hell with myself on the daily. And that's purely to build my mindset and to harden my mind.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So what's your type of training? What's your style of training?
I'd like to call it hybrid training. Okay. Because it's a balance across a number of different training methodologies. I do bodybuilding, I do high intensity cardiovascular type training, endurance, I do Ninja Warrior. So obviously I was on Ninja Warrior, so I had to build the skills for those.
How did you go on Ninja Warrior, by the way?
Season 1 and 2 I went on Ninja Warrior. Yep. Season 1 I did a lot better than season 2. In fact, I went on to season 2 with a very fresh glute and hamstring tear. Yes. Ooh. So it's only 4 weeks prior to actually going on the show.
Oh, that's too soon.
Yeah, it's way too soon. And
was it grade 2?
I don't know what grade it was. Right. I was actually should have gone for an MRI, but I was over in Perth. I actually did it while I was over in the Ninja Academy training. Yeah, right. Over there, it was my fault. I didn't warm up. Yeah, right. So lessons learnt.
Yeah, I actually did a grade 2 tear on my right glute, hammy glute, doing a sprint in the last year.
Yeah. Did you feel it?
Did I? It popped. It fully snapped. I dropped like a sock with a rock inside. And the worst and the best of it was I was in LA at the time. Ooh. And I had this, because I've got a great calisthenics trainer over there. I had all these calisthenics workouts signed up, like 2 a day. And then I'm like stuck in a hotel room with fucking Uber Eats.
Oh, come on.
So Uber Eats and me became very good friends. I think it was about four,
And in LA,
20 donuts over 5 days.
Oh, yep.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that was between meals. Yeah, I ended up putting on like 9 kilos.
Ooh.
Yeah, that wasn't in the 7 days.
At least it gave you something to work towards.
Or gave me something to work the fuck off.
Yeah.
I've only literally just started to get back into shape since that. Yeah. But that's a horrible injury.
It was
that
not,
your first time you've done?
That was the first injury I'd ever experienced, and it was a good one.
Wow.
So, and in all my time, I couldn't believe, I've never broken a bone. I've never sprained any.
Try harder.
I know.
Honestly, you're telling me this hardcore warrior.
I know.
I've never even
hurt
broken a nail.
myself. I mean, come on, I've been to hospital. I had a hernia from my BMXing days.
So you were, okay, so there's a bit of a story here.
Yeah.
So let's look a little bit at your life story. Where did this discipline begin?
Look, like I said, I think since I can remember, I've always been competitive. So I guess starting in very early stages of school, getting into little athletics and doing...
That's where I started.
Yeah, yep. And that gave me the competitive edge. I was like,
Saturday morning.
I like this.
Yep.
And I liked to win.
Yeah, right.
So I did not like losing.
I just want to point out, when she said that, she held my eye contact for about 4 seconds, very
It's very intense.
very sternly, slightly intimidated.
Yep, I do like to win.
Yep.
And then from there, I just started doing BMX. I was a blader as well, so I used to get on the trick blades and head to the skate
Sense
park.
a bit of a tomboy kind of thing.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
Copped it for being a tomboy. Absolutely copped it. And now I am so thankful for that.
Good on you.
I am so happy that I was a tomboy because it's made me who I am today. And
so you were a BMX bandit competitively?
Yeah, I used to race BMX in Canberra. I was born and raised in Canberra, so...
Get the fuck out of town. I was born in Canberra.
Stop it.
I was.
That is something I don't know
Woden
about you.
Hospital. They blew it up to hide the evidence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
they did.
I lived in O'Connor.
Wow.
Dryandra Street.
Wow.
Yeah, you could go out into my front lawn and look up to the Black Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so I was born and raised in Belcompton.
Belcompton or Belconnen?
Belconnen.
Belcompton.
Don't you know Belcompton?
I clearly have not not been there for a long time.
Okay, so what about Queen Bogan?
Okay, Queen Leanne.
Yep.
Okay, right. Wow. So Queen Bogan, Belcompton.
Yeah. So I was first half of my life Belcompton.
Yeah.
And then moved.
So is
to Queen
Belcompton
Bogan.
quite gangster now?
It's very well. It was gangster.
Yeah,
it
right.
was when
so
I
the
was
mall,
there.
obviously Belconnen Mall as well. All the
Yeah, you spend your Friday nights at Belcompton Mall.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Let me just have a correction there. I was not allowed to spend my Friday nights at Belcompton Mall.
Understandably, yeah.
No, I was. I probably never went to on Friday night.
Did you do Little Athletics in Lynham?
No. I did. Where I did something in Lynham. It must have been Little Athletics, actually. Yeah,
Yep. That's exactly. That was
I
the
was
same
just
squad.
getting confused with my gymnastics. I also did gymnastics.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's this strong theme of discipline throughout your life.
Yes. Yeah. Look, I'm a child of five. I'm in the middle, and I was the only one that was doing any type of activity, any type of sport or anything, and I did it all.
Is that the polite way of saying all my brothers and sisters are fat?
Correct. No, they're not fat. They're not fat. I swear to God. Actually, my older sister, I think you know what? I got my discipline. I think it's coming to me now. My discipline is from my mum.
Right. So what was the example that she set for you that created this level of discipline?
Somewhat an unhealthy discipline.
Workaholic?
Well, she workaholic.
So your mum's a gym junkie.
She was definitely a big gym junkie. She used to lock herself in the lounge room and do Oz aerobics, and I felt like it was about 5 hours every day because I would sit on the outside of the door because we weren't allowed in. I'd sit on the outside just with major FOMO because I just wanted to get in there and play as well.
Yeah, right.
So that was majority of my childhood, was just her every day making sure that she got her workout in. There was a non-negotiable. She had to do it. So she used to film all of the Oz aerobics.
Yep.
And
aerobics Oz style.
Yeah, aerobics Oz style. That's the one. And she used to do it. So I think I got a lot of that from her, and then obviously the eating side of things as well. You know, making sure that you were, nourishing your body the right way. She was very conscious of what she looked like, and that's something that, to this day, I think that's where I got a lot of my health issues from. To be honest with you, I suffered a eating disorder for about 8 to 10 years.
What was that?
Bulimia.
Yeah, right.
From my very early teens into early adulthood.
Do you have any insights as to how that perhaps got put into your psychology and where that actually developed from? Was it from mum always, creating this perfect picture of eating and nutrition and looking good?
Yes, and I think she put such an emphasis on how she looked. That sort of translated across to myself, and I don't know, maybe I just picked up those qualities from her that,
Was she doing it to an unhealthy degree? And
no,
not to put your mum on the spot here.
not that I know of.
Yeah.
She never, I don't think she even suffered an eating disorder or anything like that. She was just very conscious of how she looked, and she would put herself down quite a bit,
Well, that's all it takes. 'Cause
Yeah.
as a child, we are hypersensitive to the environment that we're in.
Yeah.
And to see that level of discipline on one side, but to see that level of criticism on the other, it's like, well, that's what we do. If we don't look good, we criticize ourselves.
100%. And I only sort of put all of this together in the last couple of years, to be honest, that, this is probably where I picked up a lot of my habits and stuff like that leading into my early adulthood. And then,
so how old were you when you identified with bulimia?
Oh gosh,
how old were you when you first started engaging in bulimic habits?
That's a really grey area for me because it's kind
memory
of
loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of foggy.
Yeah, I understand.
It's and I say 8 to 10 years because I don't know.
Was there any history of trauma in your life, like loss?
No,
death?
no trauma in regards to losing family members or anything. I never experienced that.
Right.
Growing up, which I was very thankful for. But what I guess I did experience is my family breaking up. So my parents splitting up, and
how
it was
old were you when that happened?
I actually witnessed a lot of what was happening with my parents and the, an affair. So I witnessed that.
Wow.
So I was old enough to know exactly what was happening. So I think I was roughly around 21 years old.
Yeah, right.
And again, that has definitely translated into my adulthood, going into relationships and that sort of thing, like having trust issues and
totally understand. I think it's a Canberra thing, by the way.
What, you reckon?
I'm identifying with your trust issues, but carry on. It's not about me.
It's always about you. Come on. But yeah, it's definitely like carried across into my relationships with men.
Yeah.
Men in general, not just intimate relationship, but yeah, just men in general. Having those trust issues and those sorts of things. So I'm still working through that.
Well. And that's the beauty. And honestly, I believe we're never given wounds that we aren't capable of healing. But the greater the wound, the greater the pain, the greater the pain, the greater the awakening.
100%.
And, and just stop with the cliches, we're never given something we can't handle. But I honestly believe that those that are given the greatest weights are the ones that were destined for the greatest strength.
Yeah, I honestly believe that.
Yeah.
I truly do.
Well, we have to. What's the other fucking choice?
Yeah. You got to believe in something, right?
Yeah. We're cursed.
Yeah.
We're cursed. Damned nation.
Exactly.
No, I get it.
I mean, I think I know that the power is on me. I've got the power to alter my mindset. I've got the power to change what I want to change in my life.
Because I've heard you actually mention a couple of things. Like the reason I train at the level that I do is because I want to have this strong mind. But I'm going to assume that came on some level from some point of insecurity, which is tracing back to I'm going to say around the age of 14 or something. What
I'd have
when
to
you were 14?
say, I think it'd have to be around that time. I think it was probably a bit earlier because I witnessed my mum have a breakdown.
Right.
So that was a horrible thing to go through as a child. It's so foggy, so foggy.
Understand.
It's a very grey area. And I actually saw a hypnotherapist that helped me sort of go back in time, and I was blaming myself for that.
Yeah, right.
So he helped me go back and change
the memory,
my thought process on that, and the memory behind it. Like, this is not your fault.
It's such
and
a
see it for
thing.
what it is. And you know what? It was such an incredible transformation to go through, and not feeling like you've got something on your shoulders and weighing you down.
Yeah.
For me, I'd always carried my mum's burdens on my shoulders.
Yeah, right.
So she probably doesn't know any of this, to be honest. Like, I've got a great relationship with my mum. Yeah. Hi, Mummy. I have a great relationship with my mum, but I'm so thankful for everything I've gone through because of the things that she went through.
Yeah, right.
Because it's definitely made me a stronger human being. And I've always said I will never get there. Every single day I'm working on me.
Yeah, right.
Every single day. And that's exactly what I say about my training. And that's why I do what I do, because, it's hardening my mind every single session, because that translates into everyday life as well.
So what do you do to soften your mind?
I do a lot of meditation.
Yep. What type? What style?
I'm a sucker for guided meditation.
Okay.
So I'm a cued kind of person. I need cues.
Okay.
And that's, even when I'm learning things, I need to see it. I also need to try it myself, but then I need to be reminded of the main points.
Yep.
So for me, YouTube, I just YouTube, any guided meditation. I scroll through until something hits a nerve, and then plug and play.
Yeah, right.
And then it's generally when I'm going to bed.
Yep.
So
to wind down.
Yep, to wind down, because I used to have quite a hard time sleeping, and I go through periods of that anyway. So I go through waves of periods of weeks on end not sleeping properly, and then a couple of weeks I'm like having the blissful sleep. And
have you found a connection with that? Like what actually is interrupting your sleep patterns?
No, I haven't yet. No, it's very frustrating, and I think I guess it comes down to what I've got on my plate as well, because I don't like to sit still, so I keep myself very busy. But along with that, I can create a lot of anxiety around that by doing that.
Yeah.
So it's about creating that balance for me. And yeah, I guess I find that a little bit hard sometimes because I'm an excitable character. Then when I, get invited to do things, or, I'm a very driven and hungry individual. So when I create a lot of my opportunities, and so when I get given these opportunities, I'm like, oh my God, okay, I'm nervous, and all the prep leading up to it and all those sorts of things. So I'm a big believer in that. If you're afraid of something or you've got some sort of fear towards something, then you go and do that.
You have to do it.
Have to do it. Like, as nervous and as gross as it makes you feel, you've got to do it, because you do that time and time again, and then eventually you become a harder individual. You become better at what you do.
When you feel pressure, what is your response?
My response, sometimes I get my mood swings are all over the place when I do feel pressure.
Yep.
Again, that's something I'm definitely working on.
Yep.
If I do feel pressure like that, I need to make sure that I prepare very well, because if I feel prepared, if I know I've put the preparation in that I need, then the stress is taken off, because I've got it covered. I know what I'm doing. So if I know what I'm talking about, or if I know what I'm doing, then there's no stress there. So, and then generally, I'm a networker. I love talking to people.
So you're quite an extrovert.
Yes, I love talking to people. So for me, it's like
definitely not a Canberra trait.
No, absolutely not. So yes.
So in terms of what you're building towards now, like you've built an incredible body, you've got an incredible physique, you've built a very strong mind, which we work on constantly.
Yes.
It sounds like you've got this great range of services you offer from a business perspective. What's your main focus now?
So this is another great question, because I like to tap into so many different things.
Right.
So for me, I find that I procrastinate so much because I generally don't have one direction.
Okay.
And that again is something that I'm
working on.
Very, very much working on.
Right.
I need to focus one area until I tick that off and get it done.
Okay.
But at the moment, there's so much that I'm working on. But the main thing is that I'm working at cutting down my life. And I mean,
okay, we should clarify that.
Yes,
she's not working
not in
shortening
the lifespan. No, I'm speaking about minimizing everything that I have, so I can be freer. I want to live a minimalistic life for a period of time.
Right. Okay, so you're going to get rid of all the gear.
I'm getting rid of everything, and we're just going to have cars.
So the health and fitness industry, it's quite a noisy space, and it's getting noisier every day. And it's like, everyone's got an opinion. That's fine. And I think one of the challenges in the health and fitness space is there isn't just a cookie cutter approach for everyone.
No.
There is room for plenty of different perspectives, but not every ego would agree with that. But I'm curious to know, how did you penetrate? Because how old are you now?
I'm 34.
34. Wow,
yes.
You actually look really good for 34.
Oh, thank you. I'm getting old.
No, you're not.
I don't feel it.
I'm 44, so you're fucking young. You hear me?
Okay, gotcha.
But how long have you been in the fitness as a fitness professional?
10 years.
10 years.
Yes.
Okay, so it's been quite noisy for that period of time. What was it that you were able to do that enabled you to cut through and break through in an environment that is so noisy?
I believe my own authenticity.
Certainly not your speech impediment.
No, absolutely not. Goodness gracious.
My authenticity.
Who wants to? Listen to me. Oh my God, great. I'm a sucker for being authentic.
Yeah, right.
I can't be anything else. So, like I said before, I'm very driven by networking with people and communicating with people and getting to know them and really digging deep, finding out what makes them tick and helping them towards that.
Yeah.
Because once you find out what makes somebody tick, you're hitting their nerves. So you can work towards getting, a better version of themselves, So for me, I think I've just been... I hate the word lucky. I'm not going to say lucky.
Gary would say you can keep that luck shit in your pocket.
Yeah, I agree. And I think I've created what I've created, and I really have a hard time with recognition.
Yeah, right.
And saying, Jenna, you've done a good job.
Canberra thing.
Yeah, Canberra thing.
Yeah.
We're going back to that a lot. Recognition is something I really struggle with. So when you ask me that question, I'd like to say, I've worked hard at being authentic.
Yeah.
So, and I think that really shines through the sea of fakeness that is out there in every industry.
It's pretty tough. Like that's true. There is a lot of facade in every industry, but I talk about this with my trainer Seb all the time. All you need is an Instagram account and a six pack, and you're a fucking fitness pro.
Oh, it kills me. And that's the thing. Like that's something that. You say a six pack and an Instagram account. I got both. I do. And if you check out my Instagram page, you'd think that I'd Photoshop some of my ads. And I'm proud of my body. Like I am very proud
you should be. You've worked very hard.
Very proud of what I've been able to achieve for myf with that.
I literally want to get on and have a look at your abs right now. Is that wrong? You keep talking. I'm going to get.
You won't not find them. So, but I think that. Like I said, when people jump on my Instagram account, they don't just see all abs and flexing and that sort of stuff. They see me. They see my personality. I share everything, even when it's not so wonderful to share. Like I'm very transparent with my audience, and that's the way I've always been, and that's the way I will always be.
Dear God. That can't be real.
Well, they are, and that's something I definitely don't do.
Timmy,
is airbrush photos.
My abs don't look like that, Timmy. Just in case you can't see them, Timmy.
Yeah, just in case.
Holy crap!
Oh, Tim's like clenching his tummy. Oh,
Tim's working on a six pack.
What's happening here?
Wow, you are very well built.
I think I've had a set of abs since I did gymnastics when I was a kid.
Okay.
So look, let's just. Thank gymnastics. Thank you very much.
Well, it's great core. It's great basis.
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
why I do Cali now. All I do is Cali. I don't touch a fucking weight anymore.
Body weight. Oh my gosh, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
We, I say we because I speak about my fiance as well, Scott Everett. We train together every day.
He's a beast, by the way.
He is.
He's sitting out there looking very relaxed. But he looks like he could just reach up and grab that banana and kill anyone at any second.
Yeah, he's actually ex-military.
Yeah. Where did he serve? In what area?
So he. Good question. I should know this.
Must
be
Special Forces.
Special Forces.
It was.
He was a commando. Yes.
Yep,
so he 8 years.
Reservist.
5 as a commando.
Yep.
4 tours to Afghanistan.
Yeah, right.
How am I going?
Doing well.
Oh, good.
Doing really well. Really, really well. Fuck, maybe we should get Scott in here.
I know,
you can
right?
See that there.
I'm
just
get
kidding.
out there. I'm reading his bio as we speak. But he's been out for about 5 years now. So yeah, he will definitely grab that banana and yeah.
He's about to murder the banana. Okay, so
I kind of went off a tangent. I don't know where we are.
No, that's okay. We were talking about breaking into the industry, and then we talked about needing a six pack and an Instagram account, and you had both. And then I had to check the Instagram account out to verify, and I'm scarily conscious of the fact that you're a bit of a beast. So I say that with love. I do say that with love.
Thank you.
Because coming from a background, and a lot of people still don't really know this. Like I was actually competitive bodybuilder from the age of my first competition was 15.
Whoa, that's young.
Very young. First competition was 15. Last competition was almost 19.
Oh, geez.
So Mr. Queensland, Teenage Queensland 2 years in a row, and Nationals 1 year in a row at the teenage level. So I'll if I can find some photos,
love that.
I used to be a beast. Like I'm talking off season 110 kilos at my height, which is quite large.
Oh, you would have been a popular child.
I was
Teenager.
a very yes, popular. I don't know if I was popular. People moved out of my way.
Yeah,
let's put it this way in high school.
True.
Because this is going back like literally 25 odd years ago when bodybuilding really wasn't that big. And to see a child, like I still remember the Brisbane Broncos came out to our school to do a training camp, and we all got our shirts off, and they all looked at me like I was like, they're like, what the fuck? Where'd you come from?
So was Arnie your
of course. Yeah, I had a picture of Commando, like him from Commando actually on my wall.
Arnie is like one of my faves, seriously. I used to be ambassador for Gold's Gym, and I actually got to go over to Gold's Gym in LA and do a lot of stuff over there. Didn't meet him face to face.
You will. I know you will.
I will.
But listen, the reason I went on that tangent is I understand the work that's required, not just physically, but also mentally, but also nutritionally, to hold any type of weight. Because I got back to a decent size last year, but it was incredible discipline around the training. training, incredible discipline around nutrition. Like nutrition, you cannot out-train a bad diet. But what I'm curious to know from you is, apart from you've built this incredible physique, you've built this incredible business, which is giving you this nomadic lifestyle to be able to journey around and do whatever you want. But if someone was looking at you and going, well, shit, I can't do it. The fitness industry is too noisy now. What advice would you give to a fit pro who's trying to break through at any level, whether it be at the product level, the ebook level, the one-on-one level, or the group training level?
Yeah, look, I think my top advice there would be, have to be in it for the right reasons.
Yeah, right.
You need to want, like deep down want to help people and help transform people's lives. For me, I have that. Like I want nothing more than to know that I'm making an impact on people's lives. And that's why I said to you before, face-to-face time with people is so important for me, because that's when I can make the greatest impact.
Yeah, right.
I spend so much time responding to people's messages. People pour their heart out to me, and I'm no professional to be able to, give them any type of therapy or anything like that. I can only give them my personal opinion and my own experience. So for me, I want to be at the level where I can professionally be able to provide them some sort of, this is my advice and, backed professionally.
So you're wanting to do further study, is that right?
Yes, yep. So I was looking at doing
counselling, or what's your goal?
Counselling. I was looking at life coaching and those sorts of things, but I haven't really nailed exactly what that looks like yet.
Okay.
I know that, I'm 34, but I feel like I'm just starting.
Dude.
And I've been in the industry 10 years. But if I knew everything I know now and have experienced everything that I've experienced, throughout my life, and you give me back my youth, man, I'd be pretty damn successful.
You still fucking got it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's settle down.
Okay,
all
cool.
right, I'm feeling fucking old when you say that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so look, there's a lot of myths in the fitness industry, and I think the challenge with the myths, a lot of these myths are born out of this perspective that it's a one-size-fits-all. And it's not so much as there is, and some myths are myths, and it's interesting because since I started cutting up again and I started putting photos up, everyone's like, oh, here we go. Kerwin's now a fucking fitness professional.
Here we go.
Oh, here we go. Oh, now he's got a six-pack, he knows it. And so, well, fucking dude, I was actually training, fucking competing before you even born, motherfucker. But that being said, I'm not trying to, say I know it all, but what I do know is everybody is different.
100%.
Everyone responds differently to different types of carbohydrates. Everyone responds differently to different types of protein. Everyone responds differently to macros, micros, as well as different nutraceuticals.
Oh my God, I love that.
So what I'm curious to know from you is, what are some of the biggest fuck off myths that you've seen in the fitness industry that you look at and you just go, oh God, really?
Yeah.
And if I disagree with you, I'm going to smash you.
They're good.
We got the gloves on.
Yeah, good.
Actually, no, I'll go gentle. Fucking Scotty just gave me a look.
Like you said, we've got very overpopulated industry, and the internet is a wonderful tool, but it can be loaded with a lot of shit as well. So I think myth-wise, there's always such an unhealthy perception around carbohydrates.
They're evil. I don't fucking care what you say.
Yeah, especially for females.
Yes.
They're
the devil.
Well, why though?
I'm only kidding.
Okay.
Let me clarify. Okay. White carbs are the devil.
Yes, correct.
At the wrong times. But
yes.
Who wants to eat white carbs at the right time?
No, look, you got me there, because exactly what I was going to say is timing of carbs is everything. Carbs are your fuel, right? So, I mean, all food is fuel. However, timing of carbs can make such a difference, and obviously depending on your goals as well. So you're not going to go and try and cut a bit of your carb intake if your goal is to bulk up and put on more muscle and those sorts of things. But if your goal is to lose some weight and trim up and those sorts of things, then timings of your carbs is very important.
So how would you tell someone to time their carbs, and what types of carbs at different times would you advise people to have?
Yep. So I generally like to say that carbs in and around training time only in the first half of the day.
Yep.
It's so simple. So simple. Like if you have your carbs at nighttime, again, it comes down to when you can train as well. So some people can only get their training sessions in at nighttime, which is totally okay. So you're going to want to have your carbs beforehand. And your carbs can range anywhere from rice cakes with peanut butter on them to broccoli and stuff like that. But you're going to have a high intake of broccoli to get your carb intake in.
But when you tell people to use like rice cakes, for example, you're like, well, if you're going to do rice cakes, choose a brown rice.
Correct.
Yep.
So you want to choose your healthier carbs, but at the same time, again, timing wise, I have a very extremely balanced diet. And that's because of the way I train. So I train twice a day generally. My morning sessions are higher intensity sessions. It's where I really dive deep into my own shit.
Yep.
And then my afternoon sessions, my weight sessions. So generally before a weight session, I have to eat some sort of carbs, and that is in the afternoon.
Yep.
So even if it's like a half a banana, I can't consume too much before a workout. My morning workouts are fasted. They're always fasted.
For any particular reason?
Yes, because I perform better at an endurance level fasted.
Hormone level better?
Yes, much better.
Growth hormone profile better?
Oh, yeah, let's be honest.
Everything's better.
Everything is way better.
Yeah.
Everything is way better. I just perform. I feel so much better when I'm on an empty tummy and I'm doing that crazy stuff that I do in the first thing in the morning.
The blood is free to go where it needs to go.
Yes, there's so much oxygen.
Exactly.
There's so much oxygen going around the body. So, and then my weight session, I need to be strong. So, some sort of carb before that, which it could be oats and yogurt.
Donuts.
Donuts
are
are
great.
not going to do it for you.
Oh, fuck. This is how I got fat again. Seriously. Fucking Uber Eats.
But bloody donuts. They are so good,
But have you ever had DK? Have you ever been to LA? You've surely been to LA.
Yes.
DK, next time you're in LA, you're going to hate me for this.
I've heard of DK.
DK Donuts.
Yes.
They're at, what fucking, Sepulveda? No, is it fucking Santa Monica Boulevard? I think it is. About 3 clicks in, best donuts.
DK, why is that? I probably
because they're
had
the best donuts in the world.
I would remember, right, if I had them. It was a good 7 years ago I went there.
There's so many good donut places. There's so many good dessert. Anyway,
there are so many.
This is what happens when we talk about carbs.
Breakfast 3 times a day for me. That's me. I'm like, just give me yogurt and granola 3 times a day. I'll be the happiest person on earth. So.
Okay. So carbs, not such a bad thing. What's another big myth?
Another myth. Oh, my gosh. That you have to do cardio to lose weight.
Yeah,
my gosh. Come on, people. Like, seriously? You've got to move.
Yep.
And your calories have to match, or you need to be in somewhat of a calorie deficit to be able to lose some fat, right? So,
which, by the way, is a pretty healthy state to maintain all year round, isn't it? To be slightly, depending on your goals, I guess, or depending on your goals.
Yes.
But if you're not someone who's competitive by nature and anything else, being in caloric deficit most of the time is going to keep you lean. It's going to keep you clean.
100%. And I'm that type of person that for me, I feel great when I have small meals and because I fast from say 7 at night till probably about 10:30, 11 o'clock the next day. So you
intermittent fast?
I do.
Yeah.
Because it works for me.
16-hour window?
Yeah. Generally, I try and push it to 16 hours. Yep. Sometimes that it can be 10 or 12.
Okay.
But
I'm an 18-hour window guy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
18.
Because that's when the magic happens. The magic happens just close to the 18-hour mark, where the IGF levels start to drop, growth hormone levels surge, testosterone levels surge. I am a bit extreme.
Oh, okay.
But I'm now doing, like when I was doing it in last year, and I actually put on some really decent size before I fucking injured myself.
Oh no!
I was doing like 1,000-calorie meals because I was only having 2 meals a day plus a shake.
Yeah. And
so I was having some cases, 1,400 calorie meals. Yeah. 120 gram protein meals.
Wow.
And then people say, this is another myth. I've heard people say, oh, no, your body can only process 30 grams of protein at one time. I'm like, oh, well, how the fuck did I put on 8 kilos of beef?
Again, it comes down to individual. Like everybody is different, and that looks different on everybody.
And depending on what your schedule is, your training profile.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, for me, it's like my calorie intake, I don't know what it is because I don't track my calories. I don't track my macros.
Very healthy.
That's a trigger for me. If I do that, coming from a eating disorder background, I know that that's a trigger for me. If I was to focus on calorie intake and macro and all that sort of stuff, I know I'd become obsessive over it. I've got a very obsessive personality.
Yeah, can't tell.
I can't.
not obvious.
So, it's best that I don't count calories.
Yeah.
And that's what I try and get most of my female clients to do is to take the focus off what they're actually consuming in numbers to how the body feels and responds to the fuel that they're feeding their body.
Autophagy. You familiar with it?
No, I've never even heard. I don't even.
Okay, so autophagy is the science behind one of the aspects of science behind intermittent fasting, whereby when the body becomes depleted of fuels, it obviously starts using different fuel sources. So it stops using blood sugar sources,
Got you.
and it starts breaking down cellular fuel, so
Yes.
fat cells. But what also happens, what the science now tells us, is it also starts the body starts scavenging on damaged tissues and damaged cells. And a damaged cell that replicates too many times is what we call cancer. And so what we now understand through intermittent fasting, or even fasting in general, the body actually starts to consume itself, but it's like the Darwinian theory of evolution, which is only the strongest cells survive. So it's the weakest cells that actually get fed on first, which literally clean you out.
Wow.
And make you stronger.
I am so obsessed with hearing stuff like that. Like, I'm a
I feel
sponge.
honoured that I actually taught you something.
I know, thank you, because I am a sponge. My retention rate, however, is not so great.
You have a photographic memory. Everything you see, hear, smell, taste,
Yes.
touch, and read, you recall with crystal clear accuracy.
I do. So, but yes, I absolutely love learning stuff like that. Like, oh my gosh, I'm a podcaster through and through. I listen to all that sort of stuff all the time. I think I take in too much information because I can't retain it all, right?
Yeah, right.
So I'm just
But
using
do you know
that
the
as
crazy
excuse.
thing is you have retained every single piece of information, every stimulus, every memory, every sound, every smell, every single thing that you've been exposed to, you've retained it.
I'm happy to know this.
You are, but some of us have just forgotten how to access the files.
Can you teach me?
Jim Quick,
Okay.
he's your boy.
Okay.
You want to go and study under Jim Quick.
Awesome.
Meditations, amazing.
Yes,
You need to get off
yes.
the guided shit though.
Yes,
That's like crack for meditation. It's like personal development. It's not real meditation. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Well. Okay.
Vedic meditation. I will even put you under my guy, Gary Goro.
Okay.
He's between Sydney and Byron Bay. He's like the Vedic meditating master to the stars. He teaches anyone who has anything. He's the guy that people go to.
Oh, because I've been obsessed with the thought of lucid dreaming.
Oh. Yes. Meditation. You need to do real meditation.
Yes. I want to get to a point where I experience some lucid dreams.
Because I look at like guided meditation as almost like isogenics for meditation.
Yeah.
It's like, dude,
I love this so much.
You don't need a fucking box. And nothing against isogenics.
Yes.
Okay, it serves a purpose.
Correct.
But I don't need a box of shit to help me to do what I need. I just need a fridge full of good fruits and vegetables.
Yes. You need to be educated how to fuel your body.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. I understand the convenience of it, and that's the problem with, to me, guided meditation apps. And by the way, it's better to do a guided meditation app than not
do it all.
It's a great gateway. It's a great way to bring people into the knowledge, bring people into the practice, and that's what it is. Because people go, "Well, I tried to meditate, I couldn't do it." I said, "Well, what happened?" I kept on getting distracted. It's like, dude, that's the fucking point.
Yeah.
It's like saying you went to the gym and going, "Oh, I didn't train. Why?" Because I started lifting weights and it fucking hurt. So, dude, that's the point.
Yes.
Because when it hurts is when you start to develop, and when you
Yes.
become distracted, that's the goal: is to become conscious of. Right, I'm distracted. Let's get back to the focus. Oh, fuck, I'm distracted again. And sometimes it takes 10 minutes before you catch yourself.
Yes.
But then tomorrow it takes 8 minutes.
So you're making me relax even talking
and
about
then
this.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then 2 minutes. And then before you know it, you're like, wow, I just sat down for 10 minutes. I didn't think about anything.
I love that.
But that doesn't happen overnight.
Correct. I'm
Neither
still at
does
phase
squatting
1.
200. Neither does squatting 200 Ks, right?
Neither, yeah,
You've got
exactly.
to build up to it, and it's the practice, it's the discipline that actually. But when it comes to the meditation, what the meditation does is it starts to free up your synapses and all these peripheral connections, and really help you just get all the filing system cleaned out. It gives you access to the files, so that you can access them really easily.
I need this.
Timmy's going to pull this shit out next time I forget something. He's going, Kerwin, you need to fucking meditate. You can't fucking access your files, because I still forget a bit of shit.
Yeah, there you go. You got something to work with there.
Yeah. So what's you're about to go on the road? You're about to go nomadic with Scotty Bad Boy.
Yep.
What else is next for you? How long is this? Just we're going to suck it and see, or
No, well, we've sort of given ourselves about a year.
okay?
Then
marriage, kids?
Well, we're engaged, so we do need to get married at some point, right?
You know what? When I first proposed to my now ex-wife, my first ex-wife, I haven't got a second one yet, but my first ex-wife, I proposed to her at night after an event, and then the next morning she wakes up and guess what she said to me? So when are we going to get married? Oh. And I was like, well, fucking hang on. I just proposed.
Hold up.
Well, as far as I know, I've got at least another 2 years before we need to set a date. She's like, no. That's not how it works. I'm like, fucking hell, I should have thought about this a little bit better before I
Look, that's a difference with us. We kind of do things a little bit differently to most
right.
people, and we don't.
Dude, respect. Do it your own way.
Yeah, we don't. We didn't announce that we were engaged or anything like that. We just did it our own way, and it was really nice. So, when it comes to getting married, we don't have a date yet, but we know that we want to do that within the year. But again, no pressure. It'll happen when it happens, and we want to
I have a feeling
enjoy
you
the
guys are going
process.
to get eloped. Are you guys going to get eloped?
Probably, yeah.
That's my sense.
It's definitely on our cards. I mean, that's what we've
Kids?
always spoken about.
What about kids?
We're both at the moment. I always say never.
Okay.
But I feel like it's never. But I don't want to have children.
Okay.
And Scott is on the same
right.
page.
Why is that?
Which is very
Can
good.
I challenge this?
Yes, absolutely. I'm one of 5 children. They all have kids. I've got a jam-packed life of nephews and nieces, and I am obsessed with them.
Yep.
Like, I can't get enough of them. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're the most important things in my life. But for some reason, and this was very hard for me to come to terms with when I did years ago, but for some reason, I don't want to have my own. I feel like I cannot see my life with children. And
do you think that's in any way a reflection of the childhood you had and how it went with mum and dad?
My mum always used to say, Jenna, don't have children.
Well, it's amazing how we pick up these suggestions.
Yep.
My dad used to say to me, Kerwin, you're stupid. As a result, I didn't read a book until I was 23.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, now I've read over 1,000.
But you're not stupid.
I'm far from stupid, but I was convinced that I was.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm just, maybe
it could have been fed from that.
Yeah.
And again, thanks, Mum. But
thanks, Mum.
I feel
That's a great book, Mum.
My mum sounds like she's a pretty horrible person, but she's not. She's the best person in the world.
They do the best that they can with the resources they've got.
Oh my goodness, absolutely.
There's a great parenting book out there written by a guy called James Oliver.
Yep.
It's all on parenting, and the title of the book is called "They Fuck You Up."
Oh yeah, okay, I'm loving this.
It's a great book. But what I have understood, and this is where I was going to kind of go with you, especially with the challenge you've had in your eating. So I'm an addict, so I identify as an addict.
Yes.
Not that I have major issues with it. It's something that I've lived with for a very long time. I'm just very aware of my compulsive nature.
Yep.
But the gift that it has given me, because addiction and bulimia, they're pretty much on the same spectrum,
100%.
right? And one of the things that I've learned is the gift of the wounds, because obviously my brain developed differently based on my environment, similar to yours, which created behaviours that were different to perhaps other people's. Hence, we give it labels that are different from normal or atypical or neurotypical.
Yes.
And so for me, one of the things I've realised is all the issues that my parents gave me were gifts, and they were gifts that enabled me to work on myself to become better. But here was the punchline. It wasn't until I had my son that I realised the greatest gift. Oof. And the greatest gift was I now get to break the pattern.
Yes.
I now get to break the pattern. I now get to parent. And this is the thing. I'm getting goosies. And if I cry, I apologise because I'm a very emotional person.
I'm a crier, trust me.
I look at this little boy and I see myself. And I now get to give this my son, my beautiful son Noah, I now get the opportunity to father him how I wanted to be fathered.
Look,
that is so cathartic. Yeah, so cathartic.
I can't love that enough. And I have had thoughts of that because
I don't want to change your mind. I just want to plant seeds.
Look, you can't change my mind.
I fucking hate kids.
I'm an independent woman.
I like my nieces and nephews. I can give them back.
So this is, and that's where I was going, is towards my nephews and nieces, and that's something that, especially with my older sister, we're best friends. We're very close, and with her children, I've been able to watch her do exactly that, and it is so special because even down to the things that you don't call people fat because that really hurts people's feelings. And my beautiful little niece Tilly, oh my gosh, she's seriously the best thing in the world. She goes around and she's a heart on legs. Like, she's seriously the most beautiful little thing in the world. And the things that comes out of her mouth as a result of what my sister has taught her, as a result of what my sister went through in her childhood, is phenomenal. I absolutely love it. And it's something that I've been very aware of, obviously, that if I was to have my own children, that it's exactly what I would do. I'd have the ability to not have history repeat itself. That my children would grow up, hopefully, I would do my best, but my children will grow up feeling like they can love themselves for who they are. And that's really special because I guess that's something that I've struggled with my entire life is, loving me for who I am. And it's only been in the last couple of years where I've really have done that. I've started loving myself because I'm in control of me. I'm in control of what I look like. I'm in control of what I do on the daily basis. I'm in control of everything as much as I can, obviously. And then, I'm proud of what I've been able to achieve for myself. And
so you should be.
Yeah. And to answer your question about children is that, yes, I have thought about that, but it's still at the end of the day.
This is your journey.
Yeah.
This is your ride.
Yeah.
And no one should tell you otherwise.
A lot of people say, is it because you don't want to, put on weight or you don't want to carry a child and look fat? And it's just like, that is so far from
You're right.
Even in my thoughts.
Can you imagine having a round belly with abs? Like, that would be sick.
I have seen some friends who are very fit friends who have gone through pregnancy, and they are seriously inspo. Seriously. Oh my gosh. Wow.
So for those people who are listening who are slightly inspired, what's the best piece of advice that you've ever received or that you like to give people?
I honestly have to say, you do you. Because
you do you, boo.
Yeah, boo. Yep.
Everyone else is taken.
Oh, exactly. At the end of the day, you are the one that matters the most. Because if you can't make yourself happy, how do you expect to have an impact on other people's lives in a positive way? And for me, that's what my life is dedicated to right now, is having an impact on other people's lives as much as my own. You know, I want to be happy every single day. And of course, it's not going to happen because, you know, I'm only human and I have my own battles and I struggle and all those sorts of things. But again, it's, you know, like I said, I'm never going to get there. I'm working on it every day. But if I can help people in the process, based on my own experiences, then I'm a winner.
And you don't need a degree to do that, by the way.
No,
you don't need a qualification to do that, by the way.
Correct.
You know, I often find it really interesting whenever I'm in therapy, which I still do from time to time, and I'll sit down with a therapist and we'll be talking about addiction, and the inevitable question always comes out, oh, so you're an addict? And they go, oh no, I'm not an addict.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not that I belittle anyone who's not experienced addiction, but it's really hard to understand what someone's been through unless you've walked in their shoes.
Oh my gosh. I
honestly think the best healers in the world are the ones with the greatest wounds.
I can't agree more with that. If you've experienced that, you know the empathy that you need to have with other people and the power that you need to be able to give that person to, you know, believe in themselves, to, you know, push themselves over the line. So for me, it's all about making sure that they have the belief in themselves that they can take the next step, because fear stops us from doing everything.
Yeah, nice. So where can we find you?
Oh, well,
apart from on your balcony with your sick-ass gem doing reps and sets.
For the next couple of weeks anyway. I am on Instagram, so Jenna Louise _JL, and basically Jenna Louise on any social platform.
Fantastic.
So I'm YouTuber. I do a couple of vlogs there. I'm on Facebook.
JennaLouise.com.au as well.
And yes, my website.
Check her out, ladies and gentlemen, because when the sun's out, her guns are out, and she is an incredible human being. And it's been really, honestly, a real pleasure to get to know a fella Canberrian from Belcompton in Queensbogan. Queenbogan,
yeah.
That's awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming on Unstoppable. Jenna Louise Douros.
Thank you so much.
I got that Douros bit right, didn't I?
You did.
There you have it, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Unstoppable with me, your host, Kerwin Ray. And do me a favor, don't forget to drop me a review on iTunes. Would love to hear what you think. I love reading what you guys have to say, and your reviews make sure we keep creating killer content just like this. If you want to stay up to date with me and all my movements, please jump onto the website kerwinray.com, and also check us out on social media at Kerwin Ray.